In watching a film like La La Land, and really any of the best musicals, one is kind of treated to this really artful, almost magical externalizing of the color, tempo, motion, and life that is within all of our souls. And though La La Land's leads, Ryan Gosling and Emma Stone, certainly were the most overt face of that art and that magic, and certainly were very magnetic on screen, the real star of this film was writer-director Damien Chazelle, crafting a musical that I will put on my shelf next to my favorite musicals of all time, which really was nothing short of a miracle, because not only was this his second film, but also a second film that followed a critical success. And when a director, due to that success, has grown accustomed to hearing from everyone, "You're amazing, you can do no wrong," his subsequent film can seriously lack some needed restraint. Look no further than Steven Spielberg's 1941 or M. Night Shyamalan's The Last Airbender. But like we've discussed already, restraint isn't necessarily the foremost need of a musical, as it revolves around characters that are so full of love, sadness, or really any emotion that they're compelled to burst into song. And from start to finish, Chazelle really let loose his camera to communicate that motion, his production design to communicate that color, and his choreography to communicate that tempo, very successfully avoiding a rather uncinematic trend that's found its way into far too many spectacle films these days, that being an over-reliance on the close-up, which likely comes from a director either too lazy or too rushed to conceive of a more dynamic camera placement, or one just holding on to the pretense that an audience will only be able to perceive his character's feelings if the camera is just hugging their face. But on La La Land, entire scenes were crafted without a single close-up, confidently showcasing that there were so many other tools within a filmmaker's toolbox to illustrate the thoughts and feelings within a character's heart and mind. But of course, it wasn't enough for this director to just successfully emulate the theatrical, larger-than-life tone of a West Side Story or a Wizard of Oz. He was also bent on infusing this film with these moments that felt extremely grounded and intimate. And so, even as there were these outrageous colors and just these incredible, showy, long takes found throughout this film, there were two of these scenes that were quiet and subtle, focusing almost entirely on the poetry found in the actor's eyes. But most impressive was how that old Hollywood style and that more modern, relatable tone were seamlessly blended together. And Chazelle gave himself yet another challenge by choosing to tell this story from two distinct perspectives, Mia's and Sebastian's. And though when those individuals' melodies, so to speak, were harmonizing, this was a comparatively easy narrative to navigate, when they separated or clashed, Chazelle was forced to maintain both melodies while also never selling either of them short, which really did perfectly encapsulate everything that those characters were struggling with as well, seeking to hear and appreciate the other's melody, while also understand just how that song could coexist and complement their own. Though even as Chazelle's direction did communicate that objective in powerfully visual ways, there really is no need to undersell the importance of Ryan Gosling and Emma Stone in that equation. Like Ethan Hawke and Julie Delpy in Before Sunrise, or Humphrey Bogart and Ingrid Bergman in Casablanca, their natural chemistry brought so much more to their on-screen pairing. So, in the same way that Vincent van Gogh masterfully controlled and sculpted the combining of blue and orange in this painting, or green and red in this one, so Chazelle masterfully controlled and sculpted the combining of Gosling and Stone in La La Land. But, just like Vincent van Gogh wasn't the one that actually made blue and orange or green and red complementary on the color wheel, neither did Chazelle create the magnetic chemistry between his lead actors. They just instinctively felt right to us, the viewer. And just like Kelly and Reynolds' chemistry in Singing in the Rain allowed us to buy Don and Kathy falling in love after a couple of very brief scenes, so Gosling and Stone's chemistry was integral in helping us believe in their characters' love. Additionally, both actors, just like their director, were completely dedicated to externalizing, through song and dance, the emotions within their characters. And though I've often heard people praise a film by saying it looked effortless, I do mean it as the sincerest of compliments when I say that this film looked so very effortful. The singing, dancing, and playing of the musical instruments, often featured in these ridiculously long takes, just made me want to applaud, not only for the actors, but for the Steadicam operator and the focus puller. My goodness. And even while Gosling's and Stone's lack of experience in this specific medium kept them from reaching those show-stopping heights of a Gene Kelly or Julie Andrews number, their dedication and bravery were still undeniably palpable and consequently captivating. And really, in Mia's and Sebastian's dreaming minds and longing hearts, we found La La Land's simple, though apt, message, that being preconceptions are sometimes worth shifting. Jazz may not just be for old people. A honking horn could actually represent more than anger and annoyance, and maybe, just maybe, an old-fashioned, whimsical, bombastic musical is just as relevant, captivating, and magical as ever. And for all of these reasons, I will give La La Land a 4.5 out of 5. And of course, a heart. I would still love to know what you guys thought of the film, though, so definitely comment below and let me know. What is your favorite live-action musical? I know mine, far and away, is Singing in the Rain with Gene Kelly, Debbie Reynolds, and Donald O'Connor. That film is just my happy place. And not only that, it is a really exceptionally and masterfully made film. Its musical numbers are outstanding, the colors are brilliant and beautiful, the direction is flawless, and of course the music is just iconic and so memorable. Finally though, please do subscribe. I'm going to continue to review films and television on this channel, and I would love for you to stay up to date on all of those things. But for now, I'm Chris Hartwell. This is The Heartbeat. Thank you for joining me.